The sound of my brother's laughter echoed through my parents' living room as my business cards scattered across the hardwood floor. "Seriously, Sophia," he said. "Strategic innovation consultant? Stop pretending to be something you're not." I watched Marcus, my brother, 2 years my senior, grind his expensive leather shoe into one of my cards, smearing the embossed lettering I'd paid extra for. At 32, he was the epitome of what our family considered success. He had just been hired as a new executive at Zenith Innovations, one of the fastest-growing tech companies in Portland. "Those cards cost money, Marcus," I said quietly, bending to pick up the scattered remains of my professional identity. "Money you can't afford to waste," he smirked, adjusting his Rolex. "It was a gift from my parents for landing his new job. Face it, little sister. Consulting is just a fancy word for unemployed." My mother walked in carrying a tray of appetizers for Marcus's celebration dinner. "Sophia, dear, are you still doing that freelance thing?" she asked. "You know your father could make a call to get you something more stable." I straightened up, tucking the salvaged cards into my jacket pocket. In their eyes, I was still the family disappointment, the one who had walked away from a real career to start her own business. "I'm doing fine, Mom," I replied, thinking of the meeting I had just come from, the one where I signed the final papers to acquire Zenith Innovations through my holding company, Nova Ventures. "Fine isn't the same as successful," Marcus interjected. "While you're consulting, I'll be transforming Zenith. They're lucky to have me, you know." The co. practically begged me to join. I suppressed a smile, knowing the CEO had already been quietly informed of the upcoming management changes. Marcus had no idea his dream job was about to change dramatically. "When does your position start?" I asked. "Monday," he grinned, pulling out his own business cards. Thick, glossy things with Executive Vice President emblazoned in gold. "Unlike some people, I have a real title at a real company." My father strode in, beaming with pride. "Son, I just got off the phone with Frank at the country club," he said. "Everyone's talking about your new position. Finally, a Harrison making headlines in the business world." I thought about the headlines that would run next week when Nova Ventures revealed its ownership of Zenith. The mysterious holding company had been the talk of Portland's business community, known for aggressive acquisitions and innovative management strategies. No one knew that behind the corporate shield was the youngest Vance, quietly building an empire while her family mocked her career choices. "Sophia was just showing us her business cards," Marcus said, making air quotes around the word business. Dad glanced at the crumpled card on the floor. "Consulting. So, honey, it's been 3 years. Maybe it's time to admit this entrepreneurship phase isn't working out." 3 years. While they thought I was scraping by on freelance work, I had turned my grandmother's inheritance, a modest $1 million they thought I'd waste, into a holding company worth over $300 million. Nova Ventures now owned stakes in a dozen companies across the tech sector. Each acquisition was made carefully and anonymously. "Actually," I said, picking up my bag, "I have some meetings tomorrow. Big changes coming up." "Changes?" Mom perked up. "Are you finally considering real jobs?" "Something like that." I smiled, thinking of the email I had received during dinner, the one confirming that Nova Ventures now owned 67% of Zenith Innovations shares. "Don't expect any introductions from me at Zenith," Marcus called out as I headed for the door. "We have standards." I paused, turning back. "Don't worry, Marcus," I said. "I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of each other very soon." I stepped out of the Bentley, straightening my jacket. The security guards snapped to attention. They had been briefed about the real owner of their company. The receptionist jumped up. "Welcome, Miss Vance," she said. "The board is ready whenever you are. Time to show my family what real success looks like." At precisely 10 a.m., Thomas Bennett, Zenith's CEO, took the stage. The auditorium fell silent except for Marcus's loud whisper to our parents. "Bennett's probably going to announce my first major initiative," he said. "Good morning, Zenith Innovations," Thomas began. "As you know, our company has undergone significant changes recently. Today, I'm honored to introduce someone who will lead us into the future, the owner of Nova Ventures and our new majority shareholder." I watched Marcus lean forward, probably expecting some wealthy businessman to appear. Please welcome our new owner, Sophia Vance." The silence as I walked on stage was absolute. In the front row, Marcus's coffee mug slipped from his fingers, shattering on the floor. My mother's hand flew to her throat. Dad's face went from red to white in seconds. "Thank you, Thomas," I said, taking my place at the podium. For those who don't know me, I'm the founder and CEO of Nova Ventures. As of last week, we own 67% of Zenith Innovations. The audience erupted in whispers. Phones appeared everywhere, capturing the moment. In the front row, Marcus seemed to have forgotten how to breathe. "Some of you may have received an email this morning about transformative leadership," I continued, enjoying the way Marcus sank lower in his seat. "That transformation begins now, though perhaps not in the way some expected." I clicked to the first slide of my presentation, showing Nova Ventures' portfolio of successful tech companies. Under our leadership, Zenith will modernize its infrastructure, expand its market presence, and most importantly, I paused, locking eyes with Marcus, eliminate outdated management structures that prioritize titles over talent. My father stood up, his voice shaking. "I'll see here." "Security," I said calmly. "Please escort any non-employees from the auditorium. We're discussing confidential company matters." As security approached, Marcus jumped to his feet. "You can't do this. I'm Executive Vice President." Actually, I clicked to the next slide, displaying the new organizational chart. That position has been eliminated in our restructuring. Although, I hear the IT department needs a junior analyst. "You did take that coding course in college, right?" But my office, my business cards," Marcus stammered. "Will need to be cleared out by noon," I finished. "Company policy on terminated positions. Though unlike you, I won't throw the cards away. They might make an interesting historical exhibit someday." My mother was crying now, mascara running. "Sophia, how could you do this to your brother?" "The same way you all did it to me," I replied, my voice carrying through the silent auditorium. "By assuming success only looks one way, by dismissing anyone who doesn't fit your narrow definition of achievement." In the following weeks, Zenith transformed. Innovation flourished without the old hierarchy. Employee morale soared. The stock price jumped 30% on news of Nova Ventures' leadership. My family's reactions varied. Mom sent daily emotional appeals about family loyalty. Dad alternated between threats and attempts at reconciliation. Marcus posted vague LinkedIn updates about exploring new opportunities while quietly interviewing for entry-level positions. 1 month later, I received an invitation to speak at my old business school's graduation ceremony. The topic: Redefining Success, Breaking Away from Traditional Paradigms. I accepted, planning to use my brother's crumpled business cards as visual aids. The morning of the speech, a final text arrived from my grandmother, the only one who had believed in me from the start. "Saw Zenith's latest stock price. Well done, sweetheart. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong. It's proving yourself right in ways they can't ignore." Looking out over Portland from my office, the office Marcus had so briefly claimed, I thought about success in its many definitions, about business cards thrown away and empires built in silence, about brothers who thought job titles meant power, and sisters who knew true power comes from owning the company. On my desk, beside acquisition reports and strategic plans, sat a single framed photo. My grandmother, on the day she gave me my inheritance, both of us smiling as if we shared a secret, which of course we did. The secret wasn't just about money or success. It was about patience, vision, and the sweet satisfaction of watching those who underestimated you realize just how wrong they were.